I'm in love with the coco.
That's an old one. Well, how long ago was that? Like 2015?
Also, that's not the right movie. I forgot.
Oh, whoops, you fool.
We didn't watch Coco?
No, it's not
we watched,
Coco.
Not Loco. We watched Luca.
What's Luca?
What's with these shorter titles?
Luca.
Newt.
I was gonna mention that. I love that we just jump in the podcast.
Nothing.
We don't we're not even sorry that we like kind of are on the wrong deadline. I don't know how we're gonna fix this time stream, Tim. Speaking of time stream, I watched Loki. Speaking of Luca, I watched Loki.
2 syllable. We've been watching Loki too. Ep 3. Oh,
cool. I only watched the first one. I liked it. It was great. I loved what I loved the most was taking the characters, like it was talking about like narrative, like the story, but like taking it serious. I loved that. Like taking it seriously with Owen Wilson talking to Loki. That was like so great. I loved watching that. I don't know what else is going to happen.
There's 2 episodes are out, and the 4th episode is being released as probably as the same time as this release. Yeah.
So that's cool. That was interesting. I'm curious to see what the next one. I have to watch the next one. I'm not catching up very fast.
But it's a good show.
Yeah. So Tim, how's it going? Tim? Hi everybody. Welcome to Twofold Podcast. Spoilers ahead.
Spoilers ahead. And spoilers music ahead as well.
Classic Johnny playing the music, playing them tunes.
Johnny's off sugar. He looks a little bit pale, but it's good for him.
It's good for him. He has that.
It's good for him.
Yeah. I mean, I've been looking at
troubles, health
beer
issues,
belly.
But he's off sugar right now, so he's been antsy, and that's his fault that we missed the deadline. Unfortunately, he was not feeling well.
Johnny,
so
stop.
We couldn't record.
Stop it! You're flipping us off. Hey, stop that.
Yeah, look, it's your fault, man. You couldn't be there. It's. But
how
we're
could we
happy
do the
that
podcast?
You're off sugars.
Johnny, stop it. Wait, what am I doing?
Neither Phil or I know how to turn on a podcast and record. That's
that's your job.
That's like rocket science to us. We don't know how to do any of that.
Johnny,
we just sit down and talk.
Yeah, seriously.
So, but he's off sugar right now, so he's trying to be a little bit more healthier. So he's been grumpy, but he's
I can tell he's grumpy. I can tell he's grumpy. Yeah.
Yeah, he's flipping us off with both his hands.
With both, yeah, exactly. Wow.
He's not even
double.
Controlling the faders. He's just flipping it. Now he's flipping. Now he's controlling the faders with his middle fingers.
Johnny,
Disgusting.
Stop.
Yeah. He's immature. I
just hope he doesn't.
So how am I feeling? I'm good. Yesterday it sucked because I had my second vaccine shot.
That's right.
And I was out of it. And the worst part was that I started the day feeling crappy, but for some reason in my own fever delusion, I was like, I'm feeling good. I should work.
so
I went through.
Go on.
So I was in this weird state of I'm fine. So I worked a bit, got on the calls, talked to people, and then I went laid on the couch and slept for an hour. Then got up and did my stuff I need to do that week and organize things. And by 4 p.m. I started to feel good and it was a big fever and then drop of temperature, shivers and fever and shivers.
Did you do the Carl Pilkington method with the ashtray on your stomach?
No, I forgot about
the cold.
Oh,
the
no.
old
I don't have an ashtray, unfortunately, so I wouldn't know what to. I guess just
it had to be a metal one, wouldn't it? As well.
Oh, that's true. I don't have anything close to such a object. So yeah,
I don't have such a device.
4 p.m. I started to feel good, and I was like, "What's wrong with me? Why was I?"
What do you think, Tim? You went and got a vaccine.
So it was but I'm good now. I'm great. I have
excellent.
Water next to me.
And me too. I have water as well. Oh, we could be twins.
Or hydro homies. Mm-hmm. So We're good. So I'm feeling great right now.
That's awesome. Awesome.
We're gonna go see our family in a couple of days.
I heard.
After not seeing them after a year of COVID.
I know. That's insane, isn't it? Like that's
my
very
old country
unusual.
of origin screwed me over. I am vaccinated, but because of specific rules, I still have to do the test. So
Wait,
I'm
what?
annoyed.
That's stupid.
Yeah.
Don't you have don't they have like vax passports or something?
They do, but my country doesn't like that vaxport. It likes it if I'm coming from Slovenia, Czechia, Austria, or Hungary, which are all the countries around me.
Czechia.
But not Slovakia.
Czechia and Slovakia, they were like together in the
brothers, together.
Yeah. So what is this discrimination? Why Slovakia?
Serbia is discriminating against me. I don't know why. Maybe it's just an admin error. But if you look at I looked at the countries, like no good, no good. Vax pass, no good. You must have COVID test. So
nonsense.
I got to go COVID tested tomorrow.
Absolute nonsense.
Spend money and then. So that's me. How about you?
That's ridiculous. I wanted to ask you before I talk about myself. I wanted to ask you how you did no traveling outside of the country whatsoever since like 2019, right?
No, we did last year. We snuck out like when the like the spring COVID stopped. Well, no, okay, that was a 2020 really bad sentence.
The spring
2020
when
after
the spring COVID stopped, we snuck out of COVID. When
the first wave kind of chilled out in our country and basically traveling was permitted before the regulations jumped in again, like in autumn. So we used that summer. We went for a week. Well, we went.
Was that when you went to Croatia?
A weekend. We went for a weekend. No, we didn't go to Croatia.
Oh, that was last year.
We went for a weekend.
That was the year before.
Yeah. It was like 2020, and we went for like, okay, let's go and just for the weekend, right? Currently, there's no regulations. We can go and visit the country, and we'll see our family for a weekend, and then we'll go back. Unfortunately, there we got into a traffic collision, as they say in Hot Fuzz. So we were there for 2 weeks until our car got fixed.
That's right. I have vague memories of this.
Yeah, so a weekend visit turned into a 2-week vacation.
Do you think?
So,
I think we talked about that in older episodes. We had to have.
I think we did.
Yeah,
I think we did. So
I'm sorry. 2020 to me is just a blur.
Gone.
Yeah,
just a.
I mean, to be fair, the first 6 months of which we are still in of 2021 is also kind of blah. But yeah. Okay. I mean,
my nieces were here, and we were just saying today, like, remember, like in March, we were like sitting and we heard about the first COVID,
we're talking about COVID.
Positive people in Slovakia. They were like in a town close to us, and we're like, and then we're like, 2 weeks of
the
lockdown,
zombie apocalypse.
We're gonna make our bread, and we're gonna exercise, and it's all just gonna go away.
Man, yeah, the whole. We're gonna do video chats every day with our friends now, and that went well. I remember I wanted to I really thought my cousin Tim, my cousin Stan, your brother,
cousin Tim,
your brother, my cousin Stan. Like we had a video chat with him once, and I was like, oh, let's do this again. And I waited. He said, we'll do this next week. And I waited until next.
And you're waiting still.
Yeah. And you know what? Next time we actually did a video chat, it was like February this year. So it's been a whole year.
There you go.
I did no traveling at all. I have not left Croatia since November 2019.
Well, my man, you got to get vaxxed, and then you can.
I'll get
Europe.
I'll get vaxxed as fast as I can.
You can come to Slovakia if you're vaxxed. So you just get vaxxed, and you come. Well, you should be until the third wave comes.
Let's just whatever.
We'll see what happens around Christmas.
Enough of this COVID speak. We were doing fine without it. We were doing great without it, and then we just started talking about it again.
Yes.
Okay, so.
I'm in love with the Luca.
So Pixar just came out with another movie. Just came out with another film.
Just for everyone to see.
That's right. It seems like Pixar has been doing one movie a year, hasn't it?
Yep.
Can we talk about that real quick? Can we just talk about that real quick? Because I was just thinking.
Can we talk about Newt?
Oh, Newt. Does anybody know Newt? If you know about Newt. send it to us on our Instagram. Just be like, I know about it. Gary Rydstrom.
How long has that been like on the list of upcoming Pixar movies? I think it's.
Well, I thought it was
10
canceled.
years. No, I think it's canceled now, but I think for like about 10 years I've seen that on list. Newt is coming.
Yeah, it's a story about like two newts in a genetic testing laboratory, and they kind of fall in love or something like that. And it was going to be directed by Gary Rydstrom. If you know who Gary Rydstrom is,
I have no idea. Who's Gary Rydstrom?
He is the sound designer for Jurassic Park. And he's a prolific sound designer. So he came from the school of, I think he worked with Ben Burtt 100%. Ben Burtt, he's the sound designer for Star Wars.
Yeah.
And, he's been working on, sound effects at Skywalker Ranch for years and years. And then he went into directing. He actually directed that short film, the one with the aliens, the Pixar short with the aliens that take up a guy who is sleeping, and then there's like the teacher.
Oh, the 1,000 buttons?
Yeah, the 1,000 button alien. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, the one where he's like, trying to abduct the sleeping person, and the teacher alien is like greeting.
Yeah, it was called
him.
Lifted. I remember that one. It was like one of the early.
Yeah. Gary Rydstrom directed that. So he was going into directing. He was going to do this feature film, and I haven't heard of Gary Rydstrom.
Great sound design there.
Wonder
the
why.
Newts weren't going to talk. They're just going to go like.
Are you serious?
No.
Oh, got it. So,
that's just a bad dad joke. Yeah. So that screw the Newt. What do we want to talk about?
I just wanted to say, like, we had. Okay, so let's put up a list of this. I don't want to talk about all the movies. I just want to see when they came out, because I'm pretty sure that Pixar just started like churning out these films
machine?
way faster than I remember it happening. Because like, what were
I think so too.
Yeah. What were the give me my
I think
list.
it was like a 2 or 3 year gap, right? Wasn't it?
Yeah, man. I remember okay, we know the first movie, right? Toy Story, right? And then Bug's Life came next. Bug's Life was 1998.
Toy Story
was 1995.
Oh, wait. That's a 3 year gap.
Yeah.
Right? No.
Yeah.
3. My math.
And then Toy Story 2 came out the next year in 1999, but that's because of, I don't know if you know the backstory of that. Very fascinating. That Toy Story 2 was going to be direct to video, and
yes.
That's such a that's an interesting story. Toy Story 2 was birthed from fire, basically.
Because like Disney used to do that, didn't it?
Yeah,
like The straight to video garbage.
Oh, it's so garbage.
2. Like Aladdin 2 and
all
those gems.
So when I was a kid and watching,
don't even get the main voice actors. Just like churn it out. Just send it to the kids. They'll eat it up.
And you know what? It's true. They milked that VHS boom back in the 90s.
I remember you explaining Lion King 2 to me, and I was like, "What? What is this?"
It's Romeo and Juliet, but with lions.
Yeah, it's like, who's this? Who's this other lion? The scar-looking lion. Who's this?
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah,
weird. So Toy Story 2, and then Monsters Inc. came out 2 years later. Then it was Finding Nemo 2 years later. Then it was Incredibles 1 year later, and then that's when it got.
It's Cars. So the Cars. Cars is that's when it happened. That was the first. No, okay. You know here's the thing. People say Cars is the first crappy Pixar movie, but I enjoyed Cars 1. I enjoyed Cars 1. Okay. I think it's Cars 2
it once.
When it goes to shit, all of it.
I watched it once, didn't watch it again. Really don't
really?
feel like watching it again. Yeah, I mean, I have no interest in Cars.
I think that story, if you look at that story, that exact story, Surf's Up is a better movie for that story.
Oh, Surf's Up.
Yeah, I like Surf's Up. It's really funny, like technically and just the ideas. It's a good one, but it's the same story,
Yeah. I think so. I watched it once, and I just remembered the jokes being funny because it was a mockumentary style.
Broken. That's a quote.
Yep. I have no idea. I forgot everything about it.
Watch. Funny movie.
Ratatouille, then after that, then WALL-E, then Up. They're all every year. Yeah. I think people who listen to us talk
I don't know. They know this.
They know.
They know the stories.
Then Up. Oh man. Okay, real quick. Up. When we watched it in the theaters in 2009, there was this old man sitting right in front of me. It smelled so bad, like the top of his hair. I don't know what kind of weird cologne he was using, but it was so bad. It was like old man smell. I guess
Old
was
man
appropriate
Sculpt.
for the film.
That's true. You got this. That was appropriate. It's like you're in this 4D smell-o-vision theater.
Yeah, totally. Toy Story 3, then all of them, came out, every one of them every year. Is there any of them that came out like doing the same year? Yeah, Cars 3 and Coco.
Well, there's a gap between Monsters University and Inside Out. But then there's Inside Out and Good Dinosaur came out same year.
Interesting.
Cars 3 and I'm in love with the Coco came out 2017.
I didn't see Coco.
You didn't see Coco?
This is when my I wasn't able to watch every Pixar movie every time it came out, and I don't know why. But
Wait,
I definitely didn't want to watch
personal
Coco.
Issue?
No, it was just because I didn't have time.
Oh, gotcha.
It's because I want to watch in the cinemas. I can't because I live in Croatia, so I don't want to watch the dubbed version. That's the only one they have available.
That's true. Yeah, in Europe you can't go to cinema.
Watching it. But no, Coco especially. That seems like it's gonna make me cry and make me sad. So like Kevin Smith. So I'm still not seeing it yet. So
Cars 2. Yeah, I'm looking at the list. Like basically, Cars 2 is what kind of broke the tide.
And I didn't even know that Cars 3 came out. I don't know anything about Cars 3 because I only saw the teaser.
It came out too. This is the first time I'm seeing it.
I only saw the teaser in 2016, and that's it. It came, it went, it's over. Cars 3, it's just there.
But I guess saying like the
all
tiny little. But that's been Cars was the first one. Then it was Up, Brave, Coco, Onward, Soul, Luca. Those are the little titled. It's one title ones.
Yeah, the one that's what we're going
short
for, right?
title
With
ones.
the
Yeah.
Short titles. I think it started with Up, didn't it?
I think so. Yeah.
Cars, it makes sense, right? Ratatouille also, it's kind of like, it feels appropriate to the title of the film, right? It doesn't feel like it's...
Yeah, but Ratatouille is a mouthful. I think that one's okay.
Yeah. WALL-E...
Yeah.
But WALL-E, again, that's the name of the character.
Yeah.
And then Up comes in, and it's like 2 letters. Up. And then we go Brave, Insight, well... Then we go down to
I don't
Coco,
think most people know it's
onward.
actually called Up. I think they just called it with the old man with the balloon house. I'm serious. I'm not joking. I don't think most people know that movie's called Up.
Really?
Yeah, like it's just I don't know. I think I never didn't hear like you watched Up. It's like it's usually.
I will always remember when we watched Up we didn't watch Up. We went to watch Toy Story 3, and at the time, our friend Luke, his girlfriend at the time was from Manchester, I think. I can't remember, and she just said "oop." Yeah.
Have you watched?
I like watching Oop.
I like watching Oop.
Oop.
Have you ever watched Oop? You have to go like the falsetto. Oop.
Oop.
And I
watched Oop. Did you watch Oop? It has an old man. I don't know. I'm doing an Australian accent now. Anyway.
No, we're doing accents all over the place. It's
Okay. So I was gonna say Soul. Luca. Let's go. Luca. Okay.
Also, I couldn't remember today what the wizard one was called. Onward.
Yeah, Onward.
We watched that in the podcast. Onward.
We did. That was last year. I remember I made chili, and then I watched Onward.
Okay, so Luca.
Okay,
tell me about Luca, Phil.
Okay,
what's going on in Luca? What's
you're asking me?
I want to see. Have you learned the art of summarizing?
Okay.
What's Luca
Let's give
about?
It a shot. Okay, let's give it a shot. Let's give it a shot, Jake, who just demands us to tell him the story before he listens to the podcast because he can't be bothered to watch the film. Well, Luca is about. Can't do this. Okay.
Try to think about it. Visualize the movie. Visualize it as on a timeline. See the whole movie as a timeline, and then you take the timeline, and then you take your both hands, your left hand on the beginning, the right hand on the end, and you start squeezing. And you start squeezing with all the unimportant stuff just pops away, and just the big 5 milestones start showing up in your head.
Okay. Okay. Give me a few seconds.
We're squeezing. That's not a right sound effect.
Luca is about a sea monster boy who dreams of seeing the world on the surface. He befriends another sea monster boy who's been to the surface, and they bond on the surface because all of these sea monsters can transform into humans when they get out of the water.
What did they bond over? What's the
they bond
one thing
over?
they want?
They bond over a lot of like human items, but most specifically a Vespa. And both of them, because they have dreams of traveling the human world outside of the sea, it's very Little Mermaid, they decide to do it on a Vespa, but they can't build one themselves, obviously. So they go into the port town of Porto Rosso and find out that there is a contest for kids to get money so they can, and then they say that if they win that race, right, that was a contest, that was a race, right?
Yes.
It was like a multi-layered, what's it called? Race.
Whatever.
Like a triathlon.
Yeah, but you eat spaghetti and stuff.
Yeah, you eat spaghetti and you'd go up, you'd bike down the hill and you swim for a bit. And if you win that, you get prize money. And they said with that prize money, they can get a Vespa.
Yes. But who always wins the race? He plays in a band called New Mary, and he also...
Yes! Exactly!
Our good friend Pista always wins the race.
With his special appearance in Luca.
Yes.
Pista Kavlovic... what? Is that the wrong...
No, I'm just laughing that you also thought it was Pista as well.
Yeah, Jake has to watch this movie now.
You have to watch Pista ride a bicycle.
Italian Pista always wins the race because he's a bully.
Yeah.
And he will stop at nothing to get... And he takes a certain disliking towards these two new boys that show up. But they get rescued by a girl, an Italian girl who's delivering. Well, everyone's Italian, but she's a delivery girl.
Your timeline is a little bit stretching now. You got to compress. Again.
I know. Okay,
compress it on it.
And with the help of this girl who also wants to get into the race and beat Pista.
Yes.
They become fast friends. With help from her dad, they train to win the race. However, they're both sea monsters, and the town that they're in is known for the lore and the legends of the sea monsters, and they don't know they exist, but they believe it. It's like the Nessie. It's it's like cryptozoology.
They want to kill them,
and they hate them because they want to kill them. That's what as being a self-respecting human, that's what you do. You kill the monsters.
Yeah, stab them.
And of course, Luca's parents are sea monsters who don't want him to go to the surface and are very upset and worried that he did because he actually escaped. Not escaped.
Ran away from home.
He ran away.
They don't know where
he is. And so they come to the surface to try to find him.
Yes.
And things happen in this, and then this is the story.
It's good. It's good.
It's a good summary, but it takes me forever to think about it.
7 out of 10. I think it's good progress. I think by the end we kind of lost it a bit. We went into detail, but I think it was a good effort. I think we're getting there. I'm proud of you. It's good.
Thank you. It's hard. It's
there you
so
go, Jake.
Hard because
we're getting there. And also, you want the clip. So here's the clip. Okay,
there's a clip. Let's put a clip in here.
Santa Maria, yettadero, hambatero,
Santa Mozzarella.
Do you want to eat spaghetti?
Pesta provolone.
Oh no, Pista's coming. He's gonna race everywhere. Oh, we are sea monsters. We have fish tails.
Yeah,
and that's the clip from the movie.
Tim, are you serious? Should I put the clip in, or do you want me to replace?
No, this is it. This is me making fun. Okay. This is it.
Okay. Good. Well, that was Luca. Luca.
Yeah.
All right. Well, what can I say about this film? I let's talk about the visuals. It's very easy to talk about the visuals here. It's got this stop motion look. It's wonderful.
It has the stop motion look.
You didn't feel like it looked kind of stop motiony, but it wasn't stop motion.
No,
they looked very clay like. No.
No, I did not feel it. But talk more about it. I did not feel the clay like feel.
Well, their proportions, the way the characters are designed are very round, and they're rendered incredibly. Like you can see wonderful like
hairs,
ambient occlusion and the hairs and the skin and the pores. And at some point, I'm thinking, when are they going to stop with putting too much detail until it turns into that? You know that picture of Mario. Picture of that realistic Mario, until that happens, because like it looks great, but at the same time this is bordering on the very, very edge.
It's like the Minecraft textures where it's like, it's like super detailed, way too detailed for what the game blocky nature.
Exactly. Yeah, but it takes place in Italy, right? Because it's called Porco Rosso, and I've seen a few like the town square with their colored buildings. Mm-hmm. Come on, Tim. It really felt
Cinque Terre.
What was the place we went to?
Cinque Terre. Pomodoro.
Is that it?
The sisters, whatever, the four sisters, whatever it's called, five sisters. Cinque is five, isn't it? Quattro is four. Yeah, Cinque Terre, five sisters. Yeah.
I mean, we were there. We had a whole family vacation in.
It looks like that. Yeah, Italian coastal town.
Yeah. The characters look wonderful. But that's kind of like what you expect, right? You expect that with Pixar. You always expect something looking, polished and wonderful.
One thought that I had watching this, and this is something that, a couple of thoughts, but this is one thing that I was trying to figure out what the difference is. And I remember we talked about this before. One thing we talked about was like, how in the past, I don't know if you guys had this, but I remember like vividly remembering saying and thinking, how can Pixar do something wrong? Like they've been knocking out of the park every time and surprise you and move you, and it's just always something new visually, storytelling wise, and just as a movie. I remember, all the way up to, as we said, up to Toy Story 3, with Ratatouille, WALL-E, Up, and then Toy Story 3, it was like, it was insane every time. And even Toy Story 3, you were like, it's a third movie, yet it, released 5 years, 15 years after the first one, yet still it feels fresh and amazing every time. And then Cars happen, and Brave, and Monsters University.
Yeah, Brave,
and
sad
Big Dinosaur,
Brave.
and Finding Dory, and all this stuff. And it's like, okay. And you're like, you were there wondering how could they go wrong? And you're like, okay, I see what it is. But
what do you think of Incredibles 2 though?
I don't remember it at all. Honestly, I completely.
Well, that's not a good sign.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's keep going.
I've watched it, but I don't remember anything. So I was trying to think of what's the difference, because they're not bad movies. It's not like it went to Ratatouille level. It's not like it just went into the into the shits.
Ratatouille.
Like you're just can't even watchable. They're still good movies, but there's a big difference between them. And I was thinking, did I just grow up, or am my taste got, or like, but one thing, and I want to run this by you, if you, what do you think of this? So my observation, what the difference between the old Pixar movies and these new ones is, the old Pixar movies made you think that this is a kid's movie, but it makes an impact on adults, right? So you're thinking, how can a kid's cartoon make such an impact to me, even being an adult? With the new Pixar movies, what I keep constantly making myself think is, if I was a kid, I would enjoy watching this movie, but I'm not really enjoying it, which I think is the stark opposite of what the feeling you got watching from the old movies. What do you think?
Well,
like I was watching Luca and I kept thinking like, this is okay, but I probably would enjoy this more as a kid.
So you're saying that if you catching that thought means that it's not doing something the other movies did.
I'm aware that it's different, but I wasn't sure what the difference is. Like, what's the change? Why are these new movies not hitting me as the old ones? And when I was watching this specific movie, when we finished, I told my wife, "Is like, if I was a kid, I'd probably enjoy this movie a lot," which made me think that is exact opposite of when I watched, something like an old Pixar movie.
Toy Story 3?
Yeah, or something which is like, hey, this is a...
Because we were adults, we were still adults in Toy Story 3.
Yeah, it's an animated kids movie, yet as an adult, it makes such a huge impact on me, which is the opposite of what this movie made me feel. So that's what I thought maybe the difference. I just want to check, what do you think?
I can't speak for the Pixar movies after a certain time, because... Like, I haven't seen Coco, I haven't seen Soul, I don't know.
Oh, okay. But, so you've seen Onward.
I've seen Onward, yeah. But something tells me that there Toy Story works on the level where what it's saying in its narrative is both relevant to adults and it is to kids, Mm-hmm. And in Luca's case, I feel like that Luca is more something that really kind of focuses on like the childlike aspect of exploration, of like finding things beyond the horizon and meeting new people and becoming friends. To me, that's kind of how it felt. And because I'm far and beyond that sort of, that's not new to me. So it's not hitting me as much as like Toy Story 3 would, because Toy Story 3 was about letting go, becoming an adult, and the toys, like moving on, and finishing a certain relationship that they had in their life with, Andy and vice versa. Or Ratatouille. Ratatouille's about...
rats cooking. No.
Rats cooking. Yeah, it's about rats cooking. That's exactly what it is.
Everyone can become a chef. But only if you do. I don't know what he said. What does the chef say? What is at the end? What is the last sentence?
Everyone can cook, but... What? Only cooks can become great. I don't know.
Something like that.
Something like that. But yeah, or Wall-E has a certain message that is also not specifically something that, is targeting children, And also, and I feel like Luca to me just felt like it was something that was more, and I don't mean that means it's inferior. I'm just mean that it's hard for me to, like you, it's hard for me to relate to. I mean, it's wonderful at the end, they become friends and,
yeah, that's exactly it's the feeling. It's like, it's good. It's wonderful. But it's like, the message is it's okay to be different and we should reconcile our differences and be friends, which is a great message, but like we have 30 DreamWorks movies about that. Like, you know what I mean?
Right. We should look at the DreamWorks list. I'm curious, but let's do that later.
We can do that at the end. We can go to the DreamWorks list.
I want to see that. I'm very curious. But that's what I kind of feel. That's what I got with Luca. So for me, Luca didn't I don't demand this movie to impact me emotionally as much as
I don't think should be demanding.
Finding Nemo would, because once again, Finding Nemo, that's another movie that is relatable to both children and adults, because you can easily put yourself into this perspective of Marlin.
Yeah, the bigger
fish. You can easily see his fears and his, the plight that he has to save his son and how much he'll do, despite being small, insignificant, and fearful. Yeah. What else is there? In the other movies, Bug's Life. Okay, Bug's Life's all right, but
Bug's Life's funny. Monsters, I mean, the story is nothing special, but it's funny.
It's Seven Samurai.
Yeah, it is the Seven Samurai, exactly.
I love Bug's Life. When I was a kid, loved it. So I was like a huge fan. Loved Hopper, evil bad guy who's great. He's great. He's
guy.
He's a great guy. He's a well-to-do dude going to Mexico and telling the other grasshoppers that if they notice that we're so insignificant.
Who voices Hopper? Is it someone famous or not?
Yeah. Kevin Spacey.
What? Kevin Spacey voices Hopper?
Yeah.
No. Oh, that's why, because I know the dubbed version.
Oh, well, we're not talking about the dubs.
We're talking about the dubbed version of Slovakia, where he has a much more badass voice than the actual
than Kevin Spacey.
Than Kevin Spacey, yeah. He's got like a really raspy, like a badass voice.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I actually prefer the dubbed version. It's insane, but I do. I prefer the dubbed Slovak version than the original.
I mean, I know that the dubbed version of Emperor's New Groove is legendary. The Slovak one.
I guess I watched that first, so it's but I watched the English version, and they added jokes in the Slovak version, which is insane to me. There's actual like extra jokes put in there where there aren't in the original version. So that's awesome.
Right. Yeah, so I'm just going down the list and just seeing.
Speaking of
how this is emotionally relevant to like an older audience. Like Monsters Incorporated is kind of the same kind of parental,
because it feels like
theme going on. You know what I mean? Because Sully's taking care, like he has to bring back Boo from the cupboard from the magic door. I don't know. For me, Monsters Inc. is still my favorite Pixar movie.
I know you and Jake have that time. I love Monsters Inc. It's great, but I just Wall-E is it's too.
Yeah.
But here's the thing: what I noticed is Pixar somehow got into this groove of having like these two different types of movies. I mean, there's Toy Story that's always coming out, but then there's one movie is this Onward, Luca, Coco, kind of like just humanoids doing humanoids thing, and it's just like a normal cartoon.
Okay.
And then there's the Soul and Inside Out and like these huge concepts for Pixar. Like I feel like there's like this stereo of like one of those. It feels like it's I don't know. I don't know. I hate to be critical of.
So are you saying that you wish they could go back to something that has more of a clever idea?
It's anything goes into a groove and it just becomes standardized and just the freshness disappears, which is okay. That's what happens. But maybe like the Disney had his renaissance in the 90s.
Yeah.
Maybe Pixar will happen again. something. Someone new, someone fresh will say
something interesting.
Done with this. No more Newts and Souls and Lucas.
Newts.
We're doing something different. So that'd be
because
cool.
like. That was one of the things you remember. The classic story where they're like, we sat down together, all of us. Peter Docter, Andrew Stanton, John Lasseter. Mm-hmm. They penned down like story ideas, right? They what if toys could talk? That kind of stuff.
What if
you know what I'm saying? And what if there was like and all that they all became the movies that they made, right? What if a fish will find his son, right?
It's my favorite.
Incredible.
Fish has to find her son.
Yeah. Or what if, or like Wall-E, like they made all these like core ideas, and everyone kind of praised them for that amazing streak that they had. Up to Wall-E, and. There's something that are we talking about that there's something that might be missing in the newer
Yeah, that's
movies?
What I was saying. Like, what's the difference is it me or is it the movies? Because I have not felt since Toy Story 3.
So you saw Soul though, right?
I seen them all. I saw them all.
What, was Soul good?
It had the ideas. It had the... I think Inside Out was made. I got a nice connection to it. Soul, no. Soul felt like, sorry, so they're so soulless to me. It felt like the right ingredients are there for a classic Pete Docter movie that makes you supposed to make you feel things, but it didn't. It just didn't. It was. I could see the, see how it is supposed to, but it did not.
Well, I can't. We're not gonna reveal. We're not gonna like crack the code.
No,
today,
I don't think so.
But
Maybe people thought about
I haven't
this.
seen Toy Story 4 either, by the way.
You haven't seen wait. So
which ones did I not see? Okay, let's go. Let's go. So I
stopped with what?
I saw
Ratatouille?
all of them. Cars 3.
Wait, no, what? Not Cars 2, right? And you saw Brave, you saw Monsters University.
I did not see Cars 3. I did not see Cars 2.
Okay, so you saw Monsters University, right?
Yes.
You saw
I actually
Inside
quite
Out.
liked it. Yes.
The Good Dinosaur?
Yes, I did.
Finding Dory.
Yes.
Okay, so Cars 3 is where you left. So you didn't see Coco's Incredibles
Coco,
2?
no. Yes.
Do you like it?
Yeah.
Okay.
But it wasn't Incredibles 1.
It wasn't incredible. You liked it. Toy Story 4 you didn't see. Onward we saw for the podcast. Soul you're missing. And then Luca we saw for the podcast.
Yeah. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't have seen it just because of the freaking way these things are being released now.
I
But then
probably
again,
wouldn't
also
see it either
because
if it
of the
wasn't for the
COVID.
podcast.
Yeah. So anyway, let's go back to Luca. Luca, it's fun. It's cute. You know,
What do
the
you
characters
think?
nice. They're vibing. It felt little Studio Ghibli, and they said, and I'm reading some of the description, and they said that of course they were inspired by Jude.
Yeah, the big blue skies with the big white clouds.
I mean, look, Hayao Miyazaki made like Porco Rosso, right?
Oh, that's I see,
Very
I see.
Italian.
I see.
Yeah, I felt a lot with that. Also, the cat is a huge.
That is a very
Huge
anime-looking
nod.
cat.
Yeah.
What did you think of? What did you think
can I
of
say
the
about this
Italian
film?
accents?
Do you want to talk about accents?
Yeah, I want to talk about. So this movie is made in Italy,
in movies.
and they all speak English.
It takes
they
place
have-
in Italy.
It-
It was
yeah,
made
sorry.
in California.
That's true. That's true. It takes place in Italy, in Porto Rosso. They're all Italian, even the sea monsters. They speak with English with an Italian accent, like a generic Italian accent, and sometimes they use like Italian words in there. What did you think of
Santa
that?
mozzarella. I can tell, Tim, that you have some reservations on this practice, but I find it fun. I think it's fun. It just kind of gives it a little bit of a, little, it's like when you're painting and you put a little bit of that highlight, you put a little highlight. And it's like, yeah, I got a little, I'm making a cloud and I put a little bit of orange in there. So it looks a little bit like it's part of the canvas, That's how I feel with accents. I'm like, yeah, it's all right. But the thing we have to know is that the sea monsters don't have the accents. They're
sea
just
monsters don't have the
strict,
accents?
strict American. No, they don't.
Huh. I didn't notice that.
The mom and the
they're right.
dad,
You're right. They're just Americans. That's true. Huh.
they're just Americans.
They're just
But they do have like
American.
what was that? What was that? What were they talking about? Like, quiet Bruno.
Bruno. Yeah, the name, the Italian. Here's the thing. I thought we're past that. I thought we're like, I don't know. It felt strange. It felt strange to me. I mean, putting like accents on English, like that's like, the old action movies when the Russians are speaking English with Russian accents.
I think it's
like
fun.
I think it's like a movie trope, which is, I don't know. It's like, I don't
It
mind
is
them
a
using like
trope.
Italian words, but it just feels so strange just to put a generic accent there to make it like more Italian-y. I don't know. It wasn't like, oh, I'm thinking about it politically or something like that. Just honestly, it felt strange. It just, I don't know.
It's
something's
a trope.
weird about
I
it.
feel like it's a fun trope. And look, I can go and watch on any other kind of movie, like let's say in the past, right? You could watch them. Okay, but what
In the past is fine.
I was
It was done in
I
the
was gonna
past.
bring in British acccents, and I'm thinking, wait, no, that's English.
That's just English with an accent. You can like that's fine because
right.
when a British person speaks in a British accent English, that's how they speak. That's okay. Like I don't think there's, if you made that and it made everyone just spoke American, it's like I don't know. It just feels more natural. It feels weird that putting on an accent. I don't know.
I don't know what to say to you because like I understand that it feels like it's a little old fashioned, and I feel like let's say if you asked me, Philip, you're gonna make a movie I would say, what kind of movie are we making? I think that would be my threshold. You know, like if you're making just like that Bryan Singer film with Tom Cruise, Valkyrie.
I didn't watch it.
Well, it's all Germans. They're all gonna, you know, it's the German Nazi soldiers, but they're on a secret mission to kill Hitler.
Yes.
Operation Valkyrie.
Okay.
And all of them are English actors, mostly, with German accents.
Oh, no.
So, so when that came out, that was like 2008 or something like that, 2010. And I was just like, I don't think this is working anymore. You know, like if you're doing something that's supposed to take itself seriously, I don't think the accents are going to work. But if it's going to be something fun, like True Lies, you know, and you've seen True Lies, right?
I think so. It's an Arnold thing, right?
It's Arnold, directed by James Cameron. It has Arnold being a spy. You know, he's like a super suave spy, and it's hilarious to see Arnold be like the smooth guy that's taking out bad guys like James Bond, and also keeping his identity secret from his wife, who was played by.
Oh yes, she started to come back.
Yeah, who's played by. She's in Halloween. That's her first role. Oh, come on. What's her name?
Sigourney Weaver.
I know her name. No, she looks like No,
I'm joking. I know who you mean. I can't remember her name either. Jamie Lee Curtis.
Jamie Lee Curtis. And the hijinks ensues when she finds out that he is a spy, and then she goes in to become a spy. Oh, it's actually quite a fun movie, and it still doesn't get a Blu-ray release, but okay. So that has Middle Eastern terrorists in it. And it's like, I know it was made in 1996 or 1995, but that's what makes it campy, you know? I mean, I'm sure we wouldn't make a movie like that now, but like, maybe I'm using the wrong movie to explain this.
Yeah, but also like you know, it is like a between now and it just it feels like it's over. Like it's just, and I don't think, I think it was pretty harmless. I'm just saying that was my just gut reaction to it. Just like,
okay,
why are they like all going like mental with this accent here? I don't think it's necessary. I just wanted to check how you felt about it. What was your reaction?
I think maybe it's just the Americans romanticizing Europe a lot.
I guess
because they do that.
That's true.
They love it.
It was a French movie that would do the same thing. I in fact, probably Ratatouille, they all speak in French accents, don't they?
Oh, they do. You're right. Yeah.
Yeah, they do.
Welcome to hell. Yes.
Yeah. I wonder if I watch that again, will that feel like that, or just because I've seen it, it just won't matter? It's interesting.
Man, if we remember to do one of the things we say we're gonna do in these podcasts,
the 100,000 things we say.
Yeah, and then if you follow it up the next episode and you said I watched Ratatouille, I'd be so impressed.
Okay,
and then you'd be like, yeah, the accent sucks.
The rat. Okay. So another little actually last note I had that I wanted to bring up, and I keep going on about this, about Disney animated movies, that there's a certain flatness to it that keeps bothering me, and I feel like it's creeping
flatness.
Yeah, I think it's creeping into Pixar movies as well, and I've seen it, and I complain about it on Onward, and I'm complaining about to this movie we watched, Luca. No, what is it called? Luca. And
Luca. And
the complaint is that when Pixar was making movies and then Disney started making their own CGI, like the hair one, what's it called? Tangled,
the hair
and,
one.
and the Frozen.
Tangled, yeah.
Like the CGI animation felt too much like 2D animation, because in 2D animation, you don't actually animate everything that's seen on the screen. Usually you have a separation. You have more separations, but you have a separation between the background and then your characters. Your backgrounds are static.
Right.
And you maybe pan around and, show more of it. And then your actual characters and objects they interact with are animated, because, you don't have that much capacity to animate everything. It would take like 20 years to animate the whole movie. So that's why you separate it for like economic reasons. And you can actually sometimes see, because since the background are static, they spend a lot of time to draw in the detail, while the animation, you have to animate, every frame, so it's less detail. And some movies, you see that difference like quite big. Like I remember in Tom and Jerry movies, sometimes you could tell an object you knew they're gonna interact with.
You know it's gonna move.
Yeah, you know it's gonna move because it looks so like crappy compared to like the background that's around.
Yeah.
So
what does this have to do with 3D now?
So when I watched like Tangled and Frozen, everything kept looking like that. Even though everything is CGI, there was a clear differentiator between static backgrounds that nothing was going on, and then the characters being animated. And I feel like, especially movies like Finding Nemo and like Toy Story and like Monsters Inc., like it felt, because of CGI animation, like there was no differentiate between the character you're supposed to be watching and the world. Everything felt like a real, like a big place. Like everything was animated, everything was moving.
Right.
You could see everything, and maybe that was because like couldn't figure out like depth of field or like, so everything just felt like this huge world, and it felt amazing. It felt like fresh.
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely. I never thought about that.
So and
You're
when
so. Yeah, go ahead.
So,
this is like kind of blowing my mind right now.
So I was watching like Frozen. It's just like a static background and guys doing stuff in front, and it just felt like, why is this like looking so boring to me? And I couldn't figure out what it is until this theory of the 2D thing. And Onward and Luca feels like that. It never feels like they're part of this live world. It feels like the beautiful backgrounds that look like Miyazaki movies, they're there and they look breathtaking. They're amazing, but it's like, it just feels like a background to me, like a nice background. It doesn't feel like they're in there and they're doing stuff. So that's why I was just wondering if you maybe noticed this or you have any comments on that.
Whoa. Because no, I don't. I haven't noticed it. But now that you said that, my mind is like flash, like Trinity in the Matrix.
Yeah.
And I'm just like thinking, like, that's so right. Toy Story had all these dynamic angles. It had all this, like, the camera was used to say this is the perspective of a toy.
Yes.
And then I remember Bugs Life, they got these little tiny little cameras, and they went outside and they looked at how the blades of grass looked like from the perspective of an insect. And when you looked at it, there was all this translucent green coming through because the sun was shining through the grass, and that created like a canopy of green. And I'm like, you would never be able to do that in 2D. I mean, you would, but it wouldn't be like that because the camera
it would be
is
very
free.
different.
And I'm just looking at the other movies, like what else do we have?
Like Monsters,
in
those shots of them going to work, or like the huge doors and they're like having this, they're moving around.
Yeah.
Like that, like, with CGI, they went overboard sometimes when they added CGI into movies, like the famous, Star Wars prequel action sequences. Like the one with the lava buckets and everything, like that one is just ridiculously like buckets. Over, like your eyes are burning of looking at that.
Yeah.
But I think in the Pixar movies, they were used very well.
It felt like they knew what tools they had and how they were telling the story, and it's inherent to the story that they were telling. Yeah. And I'm looking back now, and then you're absolutely right when you're like saying, I don't know, like Onward, for example, is like, it's a set. There's like a couple of characters in the background. It's a shot. It's a two-shot. It's two characters in the shot.
And they're like talking.
And nothing else is going on. Yeah. And you're right about the Disney films being like, the Disney CG films being like that, because it doesn't seem like they came in with that kind of perspective. Wow.
And my theory is that, like when Roger Deakins is always complaining about on his podcast that when he's doing cinematography for animated movies, yeah, he's always complaining.
I know he famously did How to Train Your Dragon.
He was the
helped
first
out on that.
He was the first consultant on WALL-E. That was his first gig. They brought him in to talk about lenses and things. So he did How to Train Your Dragon, and then a couple other movies after that. But he always complains that how weird it is because CGI is kind of worked around, or it has been developed from traditional animation. So in traditional animation, the animation is done by itself, and then kind of like shading and stuff like that is done afterwards. So for some reason,
they're
in
all
CGI,
separate.
the animation, like the rigging and the actual animation and the lighting is done separately. But when you're shooting a movie, you light the scene and then the action happens there. So you're kind of doing it at the same time. So we always like complain that it's like so strange that it's already animated and I go light it. It's like, it's bizarre. Like you actually, first you do your, actually it's even more complicated than that. You first do your shots, your framing, then you do the animation, and then do your lighting. So there's this step between you choosing your frame and then lighting it. For cinematographer in real life, it's the same time. You're choosing your frame and your lighting based on the actions.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit different. And he kept saying this, and he was talking about how it's worked around. The only reason why it's there is because traditional animation is done like that. So that's why they have the different groups and the processes and everything. So I'm thinking, Pixar started not by technically animators, they were like tech guys, and I think the approach wasn't traditional animation kind of a vibe. And towards the years, Pixar and Disney merging and maybe new people coming in, it kind of turned more
100%,
classic animation. Like instead of these kind of pioneers who were like, what can we do with this technology? Like we can do anything. Let's figure out how to use this to our full advantage, and instead of going back to like traditional approaches to doing anime. That's just my theory of maybe why it's like that.
That is excellent, actually. Like I didn't think of it that way, but now that you structured it in my brain, I can't stop thinking about it now.
It's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, totally. Like wow, man, approach, that seems to be very important. Approach seems to be pretty important.
Yeah. So I think I'm going to break a tit.
I find it funny. We're not really talking. Once again, we're not talking about Luca the movie of what happens in the film. Except that Pista's in it.
Pista's in it.
I can't believe it.
There's like a
so
really deep sea fish played by Borat for about 2 seconds. That's funny.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
I thought it was. He sounded like Guillermo del Toro to me.
It sounded like a lot of people. I was like, the funny thing is like he that scene comes up and he's like there for like 2 seconds. I think he has 2 lines, and I was like, that's a familiar voice. That's a celebrity. And I think I listed 5 people in my head, and none of them were Sacha Baron Cohen. But I was like, it sounded like 5 different people. So I completely agree with you.
Yeah, totally. It's interesting. Some of the characters, like not Luca's friend, blah blah blah.
Boris.
What's his name?
I don't know what is his name.
Boris. That's his. His name wasn't Boris.
No. Let me look it up.
Alberto. He looks like my friend. He looks like my friend Andy from like when I was a kid, and he looks like my friend Aaron put together. He
does look
strange.
like Aaron. I don't know who Andy is, but I know who Aaron is. So yeah, I see a bit of Aaron.
Yeah. He looks like Aaron, and it's funny. Like we're doing this podcast, no one knows who Aaron is.
I don't think. And maybe Jake.
Yeah, Jake. Yeah, Jake. Jake's listening, so I hope he hears this. So that's something.
Luca Alberto. Daniela.
Yeah, Luca Alberto. What is that her name? Was that her name?
I think it was.
No,
Daniela.
it was
Julia.
Julia, Julia, Santa Mozzarella.
Exactly.
She looks like my friend's girlfriend. Never mind. They all look familiar to me. That's what I was
they all
say.
faces from the past.
Yeah. No. The future, present, whatever. Pista, that's the funniest thing. It's the most hilarious thing, Tim. What did you think when you saw that?
It was immediately. It was just like, what's Pista doing here? What?
I know.
What is he doing?
So good. He's perfect. He's perfect.
I mean, I have to say, it's a Pista specific phase in like when he was like spiffy Pista, when he used to wear suits and have this tiny little mustache.
Yeah.
So it's not current.
Yeah, now
Pista,
he's kind of.
But it's like
current Pista is kind of like doing a white trash kind of thing.
Don't worry, Pista doesn't listen to me, so it's okay. We can say whatever we want.
Good. All right.
Yeah. So that's the.
Well, if you want, just like Google Fulcrum, which is FVL. Just replace the U's with a V.
Yes.
Fulcrum. Anybody who's listening to this, just Google that. At least you get some context.
Okay. Wait.
We're talking about.
They used to have this like concert video on top of
our
the
good
UFO.
old Halo friend.
I'm gonna put that YouTube video there. Pista's gonna wonder why there's like views of that. Wait,
yes, please.
That was his phase of like looking like this guy from. Okay, wait. I'm gonna send it to you.
I like the design of the monsters.
What?
Like the sea monsters? They're cute. They're very. I love the yellow eyes. They contrasted so well with the.
Oh yeah,
color,
yeah.
With their skin color.
That's the thing. It's like I don't really have any like negative. Like
yeah. There's nothing. There's not a lot to say. Is there? Like
yeah, exactly.
Young man in pursuit of knowledge, in pursuit of things out there beyond the horizon.
Yeah,
away from his.
I think
away from his
from his
sea life.
Sea life. He wants more. I think.
I want more.
Yeah. There was no "I want" song, so that's why it doesn't work. He was supposed to be singing like Little Mermaid. What is this thing? On my rock. Who are these?
I was getting a little. I was getting a little bit. I don't know, like. Oh no, it's very Little Mermaid. Is this another one? Is this another one of those dinosaur braves?
Is he gonna fall in love with it? Oh, I can't believe I didn't make this joke. This was gonna be my joke. This is gonna be my intro.
Well, it's gonna be call me.
Yes. Call me by your name. If you want to watch a movie,
calamari.
If you want to watch a movie about two boys in Italy,
calamari by your name,
becoming very good friends, watch Call Me by Your Name.
Or watch Luca. It's like the same thing. I don't know.
Same thing. It's a PG version of that. I was waiting for them to
kiss,
to go to the next level. Step it up, but it didn't happen. Maybe in the sequel. Maybe in the sequel.
You think Disney's gonna let them do this? No.
They should. I mean,
But at the same time, I don't know. I don't know anything about this. I am not one to talk.
Yeah, but you should.
But I do like.
It was a good movie. I like
Calamari by your name.
Calamari is like a good movie. There's the vibes in that movie. It's just.
I know you told me. I don't know. Like it just reminds me of me having to go to the beach and not liking it because I always felt stuck there because my parents kept dragging me every single summer.
All right. So what did you want to do? Oh, you
don't feel like that?
No, I wasn't really dragged to the beach though. No, I don't.
Me and Jake had to do it every summer, and I was like, oh no, it's like a month of this.
Oh no, my parents. Oh no,
I want to go home with my computer.
A house by the beach. I have to be here and enjoy the summer. It's so bad.
Yeah, well,
I feel so privileged. Can't handle this.
Dungeon. No, shut up. Okay, let's look at DreamWorks movies.
All right,
before
we're almost done with the podcast. We don't have a lot of time left, so let's look at a list of DreamWorks movies. And then this is a list that I probably stopped watching around year 2007. So it's going to be a lot of
yeah.
A lot of
so
gaps here.
Okay, that seems like these are. List of DreamWorks animation productions.
Yeah, I'm looking at that as well. Starting with the classic.
All right.
Classic.
Yeah.
Sylvester Stallone. Jennifer Lopez.
Woody
Allen, and I don't remember who the third person was. Was there a third person?
I think we covered all of them, yeah, because Woody Allen's the main guy.
Yes.
I've only seen this movie maybe a few times. I watched it. I don't know if I've seen it in theaters, but I was like, wow, this is like a copy of Bug's Life. And you know what? It was.
It was.
It actually was.
Katzenberger.
Yeah, Katzenberger. Man, that was...
Oh, no, this is not right. This is like, it's got like Prince of Egypt and stuff. This is poo-poo.
Prince of Egypt is a DreamWorks film.
I know,
a DreamWorks
but we're looking at
film.
CGI.
And it goes to see. It just phases out into CGI.
It's true. Like after Shrek, it just never comes back.
Exactly. After Sinbad, it's over.
Okay, Sinbad is the last one. Okay, so we got what? Chicken Run. That was stop motion.
Prince of Egypt, masterpiece, amazing. I want to watch this movie again, but I'm not emotionally ready for it. I just feel like it's just gonna slay me. It's like, but it's so good. I remember like they had passion. Like I can't believe they struck so high, and then they did Road to El Dorado. Is it? Have you seen Road to El Dorado?
Yeah, just like a long time ago, I think.
Yeah,
there was an attractive lady there.
I occasionally, that's right. I occasionally watch it again and I go, hey, that was fun. So I think it would be fun if you watched it. I watched it in cinemas once.
Chicken Run, that's a classic.
Chicken Run. We said it at the same time. Yes, love Chicken Run. That's good. Shrek is a game changer.
Becoming the cultural heritage with the current.
It is the cultural heritage, right?
Yeah.
Shrek is life. Shrek is love.
You got Spirit, Stallion of the Cimarron with
or Cimarron, I don't know.
With what's his
Matt
face?
Damon.
Is that the one with Bryan Adams singing, or that's something else?
Oh, I don't know. I've only seen Spirit like twice, and
is this a sequel or is this a?
No, Spirit, Stallion of the Cimarron.
That's the original one.
Yeah,
that's like Bryan Adams is doing the Phil Collins thing when he just keeps singing.
Okay,
well, you know, like
See?
how Phil Collins ruined Tarzan with singing all over it. People thought that it was a thing, and I think for the next couple of years,
lives we see. I don't know how he sings.
And then
Paradise. No, that sounds like an old.
So DreamWorks saw it and said, like, "Hey, why don't we ruin our movie and we'll just bring in Bryan Adams?" And Bryan Adams is singing. It's amazing.
Totally. Sinbad's Legend of the Seven Seas, not bad, but this was at a stage where everyone wanted to see CG movies, and then they blamed the fact that it didn't work well because it wasn't CG. Shrek 2, don't care. Everyone says Shrek 2 is the better Shrek movie, but I don't like it. I felt it was kind of mean, and I don't want to watch it again. But I guess I should because I've seen it a long time ago.
That's pretty funny.
Shark Tale, hated it. I watched it in theaters with a friend of because I went to film school. This was during the time for the film school days, and I went with one of the students there who was like 20 something at the time, and he was a local a local movie review guy for the city, and he took me with him to the the pre-premiere just for the press, right? And the film, the movie that was projected on, because it was still filmed, was so clean because it was like a first time being projected.
Like a virgin projected for the very first time.
Yeah. And it just had to be Shark Tale, which was garbage. So then there's Madagascar. Tim, what do you think about Madagascar? I don't know. I feel like all these DreamWorks movies are
classic,
so obnoxious.
I would say. I think I like Madagascar. Like, compared to Shark Tale feels like something like made thousands of years ago and did not age at all. While Madagascar feels like I could watch, like we watched that with our daughters. Like that's good. Like Madagascar.
Oh, nice.
The Fusas, and you got Sacha Baron Cohen with King Lima.
Oh yeah. Shut up! You're annoying. I like to move it. Yeah, that's.
Oh, right. I think the Madagascar is like it goes like after Shrek. I would put that as like national. After Shrek.
National
Shark Tale, not
classic.
so much. Shark Tale is a weird movie.
No. I told you, Shark Tale is weird and just disappointing all around. Yeah. And it has Martin Scorsese as a character in there.
Yeah, playing like an Italian lobster guy. Weird.
No. Martin Scorsese plays the car wash guy.
The car wash guy.
And Robert De Niro is the mafia shark.
Yeah, and he doesn't eat fish. The shark doesn't eat fish. See, there's the story of Luca. One. Different is okay.
There you go. Difference okay. Wallace and Gromit, Chris the Were-Rabbit, that's an underrated gem once again, just like Chicken Run is, I think, and I need to watch it again.
Over the Hedge, another Shark Tale weirdness that...
I think this is where DreamWorks started going as if it wasn't already, but I think that DreamWorks, this is where it just...
No. B-movie is where it goes bizarro. Another cultural heritage.
But over the Hedge was so like I don't it's the classic story, the classic modern.
The formula has been created. It's like you put
he's the charlatan,
stars.
and then he gets and then he makes friends, and
you got Avril Lavigne,
and he's revealed to be the liar.
You got Bruce Willis, and so the stars are there. And then it's like the poster.
And their characters look like the actors sometimes.
Yes, sometimes. It's like, oh, how could they do that? They look like characters. But sometimes they look like the actors. And it's like crazy jokes.
What about Shrek? Well, no, Flushed Away. Flushed Away is okay. The first time I watched it was at your place, by the way.
Oh, really? I think it was funny. I haven't seen it since
watched
then.
It together.
I think it was like a little bit more British. So it was good.
Yeah, it's Aardman. Shrek the Third. That was the bottom of the barrel.
Is that the baby stuff or no?
Jake, I, and you went to Novi Sad and we went to watch Shrek the Third because there was nothing else playing. I think we wanted to watch something else, but they weren't playing it.
With the cat. Or was that Shrek 2? I can't remember.
Shrek 2 is the one with the cat as well, but Shrek the Third was the one with Arthur. and it sucked, and it was awful, and we watched it in the smallest screen in the world.
There you go. You have something to talk about. Best experience.
Haven't seen it since. We'll never see it again.
Probably.
I hated it. B movie.
Strange.
I don't know what to say about B movie. It's been memed up and down a couple of years ago. It was hot stuff.
Yeah.
Kung Fu Panda, that's actually pretty good. Kung Fu Panda is actually pretty good.
Kung Fu Panda is a fun series. Yeah. I think Jack Black and the other folks.
I think this is where finally DreamWorks got out of the muck and the dirt and the grime and finally made something that was actually quite nice.
I'm looking at the list of all these movies. I think like Kung Fu Panda and How to Train Your Dragon is big, like the flagships, and the rest is just like fodder in between, like Megamind and Rise of the Guardians, The Croods, Turbo. I don't even know what any of this is. Home? What the hell is
Madagascar
what is
2
this?
Escape? What?
I don't even know what these movies are.
What? Hey, have you seen Mars Attacks? I really want to watch Mars Attacks again.
Let's watch Mars Attacks. Yeah.
Yeah, we should. That should be the next two full episode. Mars Attacks. Yeah, there's too many movies. I think
Trolls, the Boss Baby. I don't know what the hell is
Trolls.
What's Abominable?
Boss Baby, kill me.
Crude's New Age. What the hell is any of this?
The hell? What is this?
Where did these movies come out? In someone's basement?
Why did they come out? I still didn't see How to Train Your Dragon 3.
What is Trolls World Tour? What is happening?
I don't know. I just saw the ads. That's all.
Yeah, I think like it's been like Sony has like a bunch of stuff like CGI movies. They've been like kind of with like the Minions and stuff like that. I think they took over what DreamWorks had. I think they just like Hotel Transylvania.
Oh yeah, Hotel Transylvania. Yeah.
Okay, let's just okay. Surf's Up. That was a great one. Open Season. That was their first thing. That was weird.
No, Tim, we're not. Do you really want to go into like the Sony ImageWorks?
I'm looking at it right now. It's not a long list. I'm just gonna like Cloudy Chance of Meatballs, legendary. That's a national treasure.
Cloudy Chance of Meatballs is great. I agree.
Just a bunch of weird stuff. I'm not into the whole Hotel Transylvania junk. That's not my jam.
I thought the first one was funny.
Smurfs, who gives a shit? Emoji Movie.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's like that's great. More Hotel Transylvania. Spider-Verse. Everyone evergreens that one.
Dude, I love. I want to watch that again. I've seen it. Like you watch it. What?
Who the hell made the stupid Minion movie? What is that thing called? Despicable Me.
Yeah, that's Illumination.
Oh, I thought that was Sony.
I think Sony bought Illumination.
What? I don't see that on the list.
Is it
Universal Pictures? The hell? Okay, never mind. Never mind.
It's there, right?
No, it's not.
Secret Life of Pets. This is the worst of the worst. Yeah, this is it. Illumination. We're going down the barrel of quality. We're gonna start at this rate. We're gonna get to the guys who did Ratatouille. Start looking at that.
Go down the list of whatever that Brazilian company is. Illumination.
Yeah. There's a lot of really bad European produced animated films. They're really bad.
I've
never seen them.
Okay, I think that's it. I think that we're done. Yeah, Luca, watch it if you want to.
If you dare. It's pretty good. I liked it.
Yeah, it's okay. I have nothing bad to say about it. Yet I don't have a lot of things to praise it about.
Dr. Seuss is the Grinch. I can't believe they made that.
You know who made that?
I can't believe it. Illumination.
You know who directed that?
No.
Wait.
Who?
Yeah, I think it was Scott Mosier.
Who's Scott Mosier?
The guy who produced all this Kevin Smith movies, and he's
what?
Yeah.
Whoa.
He the one from the podcast, Scott.
Yeah.
Yeah, Scott Mosier.
The what was it? What do they call it? It was like the
Smodcast.
Smodcast.
So he directed The Grinch, and he directed. Wait. Let me see this.
How did that happen? This is incredible.
Wait, where's his director stuff?
I'm looking on his Wikipedia. Scott Mosier is a Canadian-American film director, film producer.
He did Freebirds. He was a producer on that, and then he co-directed the Grinch. And I think he did one more. I don't know. Like these animation takes a while. I think there was one. The first one he did like by himself, like his directorial debut.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's a good way of ending the podcast now, this episode.
All right.
That's incredible.
Hey, everyone. So, yeah, I hope you enjoyed this episode.
Yeah. I want to see, keep Tim accountable, have him watch that one movie he said he was going to do.
Yeah,
so he
Ratatouille.
Ratatouille. There we go. Ratatouille.
Yeah, we blame...
And say hi to Pista.
Yep. If you see him.
If you find him. Yeah, if you see him. Fulcrum.
Yep. Tell him to stop cheating at kids' games, and
yep. Then grow up and stop it.
Stop it.
Start doing getting a real job, like doing music.
And then and blame Johnny for the lateness of the episode.
Yep, that's right. Blame Johnny, and next episode we're going to be on time again. So
yeah,
awesome. I can't wait for the summer to be over, Tim.
Eat a Snickers, Johnny. God
damn it. Johnny.
All right. Nice talking to you.
Okay, bye.
We'll see you later.
Okay, bye.